Hi, I'm Charlotte Feldman-Jacobs, Program Director for Gender at PRB. We're very pleased this morning to have Dr. Margaret Greene with us today, who is Founding Director of GreenWorks Global, a research-based consulting group that focuses on social change for health and development. She's worked for over 20 years on a range of topics, including gender equality, adolescent reproductive health, engaging men and boys, and development policy. Welcome, Meg. It's very nice to have you here today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Let's start with our first question. As you know, March 8th is right around the corner. That's International Women's Day. And the theme this year is the gender agenda, gaining momentum. So how would you define the gender agenda?
I see it as a set of actions for social change and programmatic and policy change in support of gender equality. And when I think about gender equality, I think very much, I have a vision, and I think that's shared by most people in this area of work, of a world in which men and women have equal opportunity and equal access to resources and live with mutual respect and the ability to fulfill their potential.
So that brings me to the momentum part of the theme. In the last year alone, you've been an author on 2 seminal gender and development publications. The first one was UNFPA State of World Population 2012, by choice, not by chance, and the USAID Practical Guide to Conducting Gender Assessments. And drawing on these 2 publications, can you give us some insights into whether the gender agenda is, in fact, gaining momentum?
I would say that it is. I think it's rare to have a conversation about health and development, certainly at the policy level, without some acknowledgement of how gender inequality is undermining our ability to achieve those kinds of outcomes. So in public discourse, in health and development, it's very much there. And then there are a number of very specific policy advances, and I think the U.S. is a great example of that, with institutional requirements in USAID, for example, where gender inequality must be addressed through programming across all sectors. I think that's extremely exciting because it's institutionalized. And there are many other institutions also that have laid out a mandate, essentially, for addressing this obstacle.
So if we ask you to look into your crystal ball and project on what you would like to see happen in the next year or 2 to boost this momentum?
Well, I love looking into my crystal ball. Thank you for that opportunity. I think I see a number of things needing to happen on different levels. First, I think it's fundamental that gender equality find a central place in the post-2015 framework for sustainable development. And I'm optimistic about that because I think there is a greater recognition of how gender inequality stands in the way of so many things that we want to see happen. I think also I'd love to see some prominent men, political leaders, actors, business leaders, make some strong statements, public statements about gender equality and how important it is to them as men and for the women in their lives, because gender equality is everybody's issue, not just women's. And then third, I think it's so important to deal with these issues and to deal with gender inequality from a very early age. And I'd love to see more attention among young children, among curricular materials and so on, that attempt to question gender inequality and gender norms from very early ages.
Thank you, Meg. I hope we're here in 2 years talking about how all those things happened. And happy International Women's Day.